This town's so lame, I'm feeling so wired.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah. So today's video we're going to organize our pantry area in the basement. So we do have a pantry in our kitchen, and then we have another area that we store all of our bulk food because we buy bulk like fish crackers, bear paws, applesauce, pasta sauce, and all that kind of stuff, but we don't have room to store it up in our main pantry in our kitchen. So we used to store all this stuff in our garage. Well, this last summer we had a major heat wave for a while, so of course everything got really hot. Our garage got really hot and we lost some of our food. For example, our chocolate chips, instead of becoming little chocolate chips, they became one big clump. So that's the number one reason we moved our food out of the garage. Number two was we discovered we had a mice problem. So of course we wanted to take out all the food out of the garage because we didn't want the mice to be enticed to come in the garage, nor did we want them to eat our food. So we moved it all quickly downstairs. I kind of just threw on the shelves. There's no rhyme or reason to the organization, but I want to really give it a go organization. So I did get a few things off Amazon. I got these here, which are actually called spice racks, off Amazon. I got 4 of them, and I'm going to put them on here to create more height so that I can have like 2 shelves on here, because right now I'm storing dead air, which I absolutely hate. So I have 4 of those. And then I also got these baskets here, which are kind of cool, is you can stick them like right on the shelf. Like I can slide them on like this. So I got these as well. So I'm going to kind of play around with it. I might put these like down here to put stuff on. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to take you guys along with me as I do it. So let's get to this because I've been dying to do this. I'll give you a quick tour of it, but I have 3 bins full of food that need to have a home, and I'll also show you all on the wall some baskets that I got off Amazon as well that Paul hung up for me to put like onions and sweet potatoes and that sort of thing down there. So let's get right into it. So as you can see, there is food everywhere. I have fish crackers randomly put in those baskets. I have these shopping bins filled with food. The shelves themselves don't look too terribly unorganized, but the problem is I don't have a place to put everything on the shelf at this very moment. So I'm going to have to take things off the shelf, put things on, and kind of rearrange it as I go. I do a lot of trial and error when I do things like this. I don't really go in with a plan. I kind of just go, okay, everything here has to go on here. How am I going to make it work? So the first thing I'm going to do is kind of arrange this upper shelf here, and then I'm going to go ahead and remove everything from the shelf below, and then put that spice racks on and I'm using as shelves, as well as those baskets in, and see how they kind of fit. And then I'll go from there at actually arranging everything on the shelves. So there's tons of trial and error in a project like this because I'm putting things in one spot, realizing they might fit in a better in another place. And then also when it comes to like cans and bottles, if there's only a couple of them, I like to try to make sure that the taller ones are at the back and the ones more forward, so I can really see what I have. Because that was one thing I struggled with in our pantry and our kitchen, was I couldn't see everything we had. So then I'd go through the pantry every once in a while, discovered all this expired food, which was so embarrassing that I had to throw it all out. I knew I wasn't alone, Let me know in the comments below if you've done that, pantry or fridge clean out and you found things you forgot you had and had to throw them out, unfortunately. We've all had that one item in the fridge that we find and we're like, oh my goodness, this one has seen better days. I got to get rid of it. So there's some things like canned soup. I try not to buy too much of it because we don't use a ton of it, but I like to have it on hand for camping or just if you just want a warm bowl of soup but you want to make it quick. Pasta sauce, ketchup, mayonnaise, peanut butter, syrup, all that kind of stuff we use regularly, so I like to have a bit of that on hand. And then flour and sugar, I always want to have an extra bag. So I have a big container in my pantry upstairs that I have for flour and for sugar. But I like to have a bag ready to go downstairs so that way when that container gets low, I can fill it up, and then immediately once we fill that container up, on my shopping list goes flour or sugar. So that way we always have a backup on hand. Like for example, my husband was making pancakes last Sunday like he does every Sunday, and the flour container was almost empty. So I went downstairs, filled it up, and I threw the item on my list. So next time I would go shopping, I would get some. Now unfortunately, Costco was out when I went, so it's still on my list, but I know I have enough time because we just filled it up, so we're gonna be good. Now this bottom section here, I struggled a bit with organizing it because we have like the tall bags of chips, we have the flour, the sugar, and that sort of thing. So I struggled a bit with the shelf. It's not as pretty as I want it to be, but you know what? It's just a bunch of bag of chips and stuff, so it's gonna work.
The sun's going down as I try to make my way through the crowd. Feeling alive. I love being by your side. It makes me shine. We got one summer, so let's make it count. You make me feel like everything's alright. Let's dance our problems away in the night. Love being right next to you. You'll be on my mind. I'll be dreaming about this till the end of time. We are young, we are free, down for the ride. Might be over tomorrow, but we got this day forever. Do you hear that sound? Can you feel the music? Let's get wild. We're magic, you and I. They call us reckless, but we don't mind. We got one summer, so let's make it count. You make me feel like everything's alright. Let's dance our problems away in the night. Love being right next to you.
When I order things online, I really need to get better at actually measuring and kind of doing a rough look of what that size looks like, because when I got the baskets, I was shocked at how small they were. I had envisioned something much bigger. Even though the dimensions are on there, I could have measured it to kind of see roughly what size it was, but I didn't. But thankfully, they fit perfect between the door and the shelf, so they do fit well there. So it all worked out really well, but I definitely had envisioned something a little bit bigger than what I got. But you know what? It's all good. I still got to use them. I didn't waste them, so that's all that matters.
If it's only for now, I don't mind, 'cause I know that your love is endless. If it's only for now, I don't mind, 'cause I know that your love is endless. It might be over tomorrow, but this day will live on forever. You'll be on my mind. I'll be dreaming about this till the end of time. We are young, we are free, down for the ride. Might be over tomorrow, but we got this day forever. Live on.
I should definitely vacuum down here more than I do, but I always forget about the basement because all I come down here for is either like food or to do laundry, but I don't spend enough time down there that I think to vacuum this part of the basement. So it does get neglected quite a bit. And here I am, I'm just pulling out some hair that got stuck in the roller of the vacuum. So I just pulled that out, ripped it out so I could continue on vacuuming, but definitely be better if I vacuum this area more often. But you know what? It's not very lived in compared to the rest of our house and doesn't get a ton of foot traffic. So it's probably not that bad. It's probably just a little bit dusty, I'm sure, which I can see when I do vacuum and the filter gets full, but it actually wasn't as bad as like vacuuming my family room or kids room or our bedroom. It was actually quite minimal, so it really wasn't that bad.
Now, cause I don't wanna slow this down. My heart is screaming out your name. I'm wasted on you. Here we are, right underneath the stars. So let's get a little reckless. You make me breathless, and I won't waste this. And I promise that I will stand by you forever.
It feels so good to finally get this done. This has been on my to-do list for so long. After last summer in the fall, I was going to move everything downstairs and then I didn't. And then I think it was just after Christmas, we had the issue with the mice. So we finally just quickly moved everything downstairs, and it's been honest chaos trying to get to everything. I've avoided it. I didn't want to deal with it. Plus, in front of the food here, I like to keep my drying racks for our masks and our clothes and stuff like that. So it was getting more difficult to use those properly and to try to get the food. But now at least everything has a place on the shelf, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. Now, is it going to stay like this, as organized? I hope so, because my pantry upstairs, I did renovate it in April of 2020. I'll try to remember to include a link in the description box below if you want to check that out. But our pantry upstairs has been fairly well organized, so I'm quite happy with how that's been. But this has been like the thing that's been bugging me the most. So if you did enjoy today's video, please give it a thumbs up, as it does help my channel a lot. If you did enjoy today's video, along with the content you see here on my channel, I would love if you consider subscribing and joining my YouTube family. So get that red subscribe button and the notification bell to miss any future videos from me. Thank you so much for watching my video today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!